You are 19 years old. You are sitting in a windowless room on a military base in the Negev Desert. The air conditioning is too cold. The fluorescent light above you flickers every 40 seconds. You've counted. On the screen in front of you, there are 14 open intercept feeds from 3 different countries. You don't know which countries. You're not cleared for that yet. Your job is to listen. That's it, just listen. Flag anything that matches the 47 keywords on your approved list. Don't interpret, don't analyze. Don't ask why the keywords matter or what operation they're feeding. You are an ear, a very expensive, very well-trained ear, but an ear nonetheless. You speak Arabic and Farsi fluently. You scored in the top 0.3% on your cognitive battery. You were recruited at 17 by a man who came to your school and told your teacher he was from the Ministry of Education. He was not from the Ministry of Education. Nobody told you that either. This is how it begins. Not with a weapon, not with a mission, with a pair of headphones and a flickering light and a list of words you are not allowed to write down. You listen for 11 months. You flag 340 intercepts. 3 of them matter. You will never know which 3. Level 2. Katsa. Katsa, Field Intelligence Officer. You are 24 years old. You have a new passport. It says you are from Austria. Your name is not your name. Your employer is listed as an import-export firm in Vienna that actually exists, that has a functioning website, that will answer the phone if someone calls and asks for you by your new name. Someone will confirm you work there. That person also works for Mossad. You are in Berlin. Your job is to recruit, to find people with access, diplomats, scientists, military attachés, disaffected bureaucrats, and turn them into assets. You don't call them assets, you call them friends. You have lunch with them. You remember their children's names. You ask about their marriages with genuine-seeming warmth. You are good at this because you actually do feel something. That's the part they don't tell you at the training facility in Herzliya. The best Katsas are not cold people. They are people who can feel real affection for someone they are simultaneously destroying. Your first asset is a 52-year-old Iranian trade official named Mahmoud. He has a gambling problem. You didn't create the gambling problem. You just found it. Over 8 months, you become the only person in his life who doesn't judge him for it. You lend him money twice. The third time, you ask for something small in return. Just a name, just a meeting schedule. Nothing sensitive. It is sensitive. Everything is sensitive. Mahmoud will produce intelligence for 4 years. You will never see him again after your rotation ends. You will be replaced by someone else with a different name and a different passport and the same practiced warmth. Mahmoud will never know there was a replacement. He will think you simply got busy. You feel something about this. You file it away and don't look at it again. Level 3. Combatant. Combatant. Deep cover agent. There is no ceremony for this. No promotion letter, no new title on a business card. One day your handler calls you into a room and tells you that you have been selected for a longer assignment. He uses the word longer. He means years. He means the rest of your 20s, possibly your 30s. He means a life. You will be given a complete identity, not a cover, an identity, built from the ground up over 18 months before you even arrive in the target country. A birth certificate registered in a real municipality, school records, an apartment lease history, social media accounts with 3 years of mundane posts already populated, birthday wishes from accounts that belong to other combatants playing the role of your friends. You will move to your assigned city. You will get a job. You will make real friends. You will attend their weddings. You will be invited to their homes for dinner. You will eat their food and laugh at their jokes and remember what their mothers look like. And somewhere underneath all of this, underneath every dinner and every laugh and every photograph where you smile with people who genuinely like you, you are working. The psychological literature on deep cover operatives shows a consistent pattern. At month 3, most feel a clean sense of purpose. At month 14, most begin to experience what the literature calls identity diffusion. The line between the cover and the self begins to dissolve. Not because the agent is weak, because the human mind cannot sustain the performance without beginning to become the performance. You will not read this literature. It is classified. It applies to you. You stay for 6 years. When you come home, your mother says you seem different. She cannot articulate how. You cannot explain why. You sit at her kitchen table and drink the coffee she makes and feel, for the first time in 6 years, that you are the one who is performing. Level 4. Neviot operative. Neviot. Surveillance and penetration specialist. You don't follow people. You construct an invisible architecture around them. Before a target knows they are a target, you have already mapped their route to work, the restaurant they eat at on Tuesdays, the pharmacy where they pick up their prescriptions, the 3 people they call most frequently, and the 1 person they call from a different phone when they think no one is watching. You are always watching. Neviot is one of the most secretive units inside Mossad's operational structure. Your existence is not acknowledged. Your work is not discussed. You are the infrastructure that every other operation depends on. The Katsa cannot recruit without knowing who the target actually is. The Combatant cannot embed without Neviot having already cleared the environment. The Kidon cannot move without knowing the target's exact pattern down to the minute. You master 3 things: physical surveillance, technical penetration, and what is called in the unit, environment preparation. That last one means you enter a location before the operation, a hotel room, an office, an apartment, and you leave something behind. Or you remove something. Or you simply learn the layout, the lock type, the camera angles, the blind spots. You are trained to enter a room and leave no evidence you were ever there. You practice this for 4 months in a facility outside Tel Aviv. You enter rooms, you search them, you exit. Instructors examine the rooms afterward with forensic equipment. If they find anything, a fiber, a partial print, a microscopic displacement of dust, you start again. By the end, you can move through a space like water. You touch nothing, you leave nothing, you were never there. The cost of this is that you stop being fully present anywhere, even in your own home. Even at your own dinner table, you sit and you catalog exits. You note who can see you from where. You cannot turn it off. It is no longer a skill, it is how you exist. Level 5. Sayanim Handler. Sayanim Handler. This is the level nobody talks about. Not because it's the most dangerous, because it's the most human, and therefore the most uncomfortable. Sayanim are civilians, ordinary people. Jewish diaspora communities around the world, doctors, lawyers, bankers, hotel managers, car rental agents, real estate brokers, who provide assistance to Mossad operations when asked. They are not agents, they are not paid, they are not trained. They simply say yes when someone they trust asks them for a small favor. A hotel manager holds a reservation under a specific name without logging it in the system. A banker runs a routine check on a name without filing the paperwork. A doctor provides a medical service for a patient who pays in cash and asks no questions. A car rental agent provides a vehicle that doesn't appear in the company's records. Your job is to maintain these relationships, to cultivate them, to know which Sayanim in which city can provide which service, to call the right person at the right moment and ask for exactly what you need and no more. Most Sayanim never know the full picture of what they're enabling. They know they are helping Israel. They believe, correctly, that their contribution is small and their risk is minimal. What they don't know is the operation their small favor fits into. They don't know that the hotel reservation they held off book was for an operative who surveilled a nuclear scientist for 3 days. They don't know that the car they provided without paperwork was used in an operation that ended with someone dead in a parking garage in Dubai. You hold all of this. They hold none of it. You manage 40 Sayanim across 11 countries. You know their children's names, their professional pressures, the anniversaries they need to be wished on to feel valued. You are good at this for the same reason the Katsa is good at recruiting. You feel something real toward these people, and they feel it back. You are also aware that you would sacrifice any one of them without hesitation if the operation required it. You have filed this fact away next to the file you made about Mahmoud. The drawer is getting full. Level 6. Caesarea Officer. Caesarea, Special Operations. The line you have been walking since the beginning, the line between intelligence and violence, is gone now. You stepped over it. You didn't notice exactly when. Caesarea is Mossad's primary special operations unit. Not the assassination team, that's Kidon, one level above. Caesarea is everything that surrounds and enables the kill, the logistics infrastructure, the forward intelligence, the communications security, the exfiltration routes, the cover stories, the documents. You are the architecture of the operation. You plan in weeks, sometimes months. You build a complete operational picture of a target before a single decision is made about what to do with that picture. You identify the access points. You identify the vulnerabilities. You identify the windows. The specific moments when a person is most exposed, most predictable, most reachable. You don't decide what happens in those windows. That decision is made above you by people who brief the Prime Minister, who then give authorization or don't. But you provide the picture that makes the decision possible. Without your work, nothing happens. In 1972, after the Munich Olympics massacre, Caesarea operatives spent years hunting the planners of Black September across Europe. They moved through Rome, Paris, Beirut, Athens, Cyprus. Each operation was months in planning. Each target was surveilled until their pattern was known completely. Then, a decision was made. Then Kidon moved. You study this history not as history, as methodology. There is a specific document from this period, still partially classified, that describes the psychological profile of the optimal Caesarea officer. The document notes that the ideal candidate feels the weight of what they enable without being paralyzed by it. It describes this as moral load-bearing capacity, the ability to carry the knowledge of what your work produces and continue to function with precision and even with pride. You have this capacity. You discovered it gradually. You are not sure if this is a strength or if it is the thing that was quietly removed from you somewhere along the way. Level 7. Kidon operative. Kidon, the tip of the spear. Kidon means bayonet in Hebrew. You are one of fewer than 40 people in this unit at any given time. The selection process took 3 years. You didn't apply. You were observed, evaluated, and eventually asked. You said yes. You do not kill people. That is not the language used. You execute authorized targets. The authorization comes from the Prime Minister of Israel, personally, in writing, for each operation. This is not a formality. The document exists. It names the target. It is signed. This matters to you. You are not a criminal. You are not a mercenary. You operate inside a legal framework, a framework that exists nowhere in international law, that no other nation would recognize, but that exists inside the chain of command that you are part of. You are a soldier, executing a sanctioned order. This is what you tell yourself. It is also true. Your targets have been a nuclear scientist who was 2 years from delivering a warhead, an arms dealer supplying rockets to a group that had fired 3,400 of them into civilian areas, a financier whose network had funded 4 separate attacks that killed 67 people, a man whose name appears in no newspaper, no court document, no official record of any kind, but whose decisions had consequences that can be measured in body counts. You know all of this before you move. Mossad does not send Kidon after the wrong person. The intelligence architecture that exists beneath every operation, the Neviot surveillance, the Caesarea planning, the Katsa intelligence, means that by the time you are in position, the certainty is absolute. The operation takes between 4 and 11 minutes. You have never used more than 11. Afterward, there is no debrief in the conventional sense. There is a meeting. There is a review of what was executed versus what was planned. There is a documentation of lessons. The emotional content of the operation is not discussed. There is no framework for that discussion. You don't look for one. What you notice over time is not guilt. It is something quieter, a gradual erosion of the distance between the professional self and the private self. You used to be able to leave the work behind when you went home. Now the work and the home occupy the same space inside you, and there is no clear border between them. You are always Kidon, even when you are cooking dinner, even when you are sleeping, especially when you are sleeping. Level 8. Metsada Chief. Metsada, Chief of Covert Action. You run it all now. Every Kidon operation, every Caesarea plan, every special operation that Mossad executes anywhere in the world passes through you. You do not go into the field. You have not gone into the field in 11 years. You sit in a building in Tel Aviv, a building with no sign on the outside, no listing in any directory, no address that appears on any map, and you read files and make decisions and sign things that are immediately classified at a level that means fewer than 30 people in Israel will ever see them. You have authorized operations in 19 countries. You have authorized operations in cities where, if the local government knew what happened there, it would constitute an act of war. You have authorized operations that succeeded and operations that failed, and one operation that went so wrong that 3 Kidon operatives were detained by a foreign intelligence service, and you spent 6 weeks in a negotiation so sensitive that it required the direct involvement of the Prime Minister's office and the cooperation of a third-party nation that officially has no relationship with Israel. You resolved it. Everyone came home. Nothing appeared in any newspaper. You go home at 8 p.m. when things are quiet. At 11 p.m. when they're not. Your wife has stopped asking what you're working on. Not because she doesn't care, because 31 years of never getting an answer has reshaped what asking means in your marriage. She asks about the children instead, about the grandchildren. You talk about the grandchildren with genuine warmth, and you mean every word, and you are also, simultaneously, thinking about an operation in Kuala Lumpur that is in its 3rd week of surveillance, and a decision point that is approaching in 72 hours. You are always here. You are never fully here. Level 9. Memuneh. Memuneh, the director. Memuneh means the one who is responsible. You brief the Prime Minister every Tuesday and Thursday. You brief the Defense Minister when the intelligence requires it, which is frequently. You brief no one else. You answer to no committee, no oversight board, no parliamentary review. Mossad's oversight structure is the Prime Minister. You are the Prime Minister's intelligence arm. You are, in the architecture of Israeli national security, the sharp edge of the state's will to survive. You know things that would change the public understanding of at least 4 major historical events in the last 30 years. You know things that foreign governments have spent billions trying to discover. You know things that, if disclosed, would rupture diplomatic relationships that took decades to build. You carry all of this. There is no one to share it with. There is no peer at your level with whom you can speak freely. The only people who know what you know are people who are either dead, retired and legally bound to silence, or sitting across from you in the Prime Minister's office. The loneliness of this level is not dramatic. It is bureaucratic. It is the quiet, grinding loneliness of absolute information asymmetry, of knowing things that the people you love can never know, of sitting in rooms where every other person in the room knows less than you, always, permanently, by design. You did not come here for power. You came here, if you are honest, if you reach back to who you were at 19 in that room in the Negev Desert with the flickering fluorescent light, because you believed that what you were doing mattered, that it protected something real, that the cost was justified. You still believe this. You believe it with the same certainty you had at 19, but the belief no longer feels like inspiration. It feels like weight, like something you carry in your chest where other things used to be. The Tuesday briefing starts in 6 minutes. You gather your files. You are precise, professional, composed. You are always composed. Somewhere tonight, a 19-year-old is in a room in the Negev Desert. The light above them flickers every 40 seconds. They don't know yet what the keywords on their list will eventually lead to. They don't know the weight of what they're being trained to carry. They are listening. They will keep listening until the work is done, or until they are, whichever comes first. Mossad does not have a retirement ceremony. It has a final briefing, a handshake, and a silence that follows you home and never leaves.